Okay, we're recording. Perfect. All right.
Hey.
All right. So, all right. Introduction. I probably shouldn't say that in the recording, but who cares? Anyway, so hello, good people. This is Dminq coming at you from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Yo, as you can see, I got one of my new friends in the music industry, Mr. Sev7en Taylor. Yo, what's up?
Hey. Hey, what's up, y'all?
And so I have no clue how many people are going to be watching this, but whoever's watching it, thank you guys so much for watching our artist on artist interview segment. This can literally go anywhere.
Right.
So I have no clue what's about to happen. We have no clue what's about to happen. So
Literally.
we're here. But I
Right.
guess, okay, so I guess I'll start with,
Okay.
how about this? How about you just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, your style of music, and
Mhm.
how'd you get into music?
Okay. Well, I'm Sev7en Taylor. I'm born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut. I lived briefly in New York for a little bit. Um, I want to say my whole life I've always been someone that was fascinated by the music world and creating in general. I think I started writing my first songs around like 8, 9 years old. But that's way before I discovered exactly what I was doing, how I was doing it, and how I was going to go down. Overall, I think um, I don't know, something kind of like clicked with me around 2014, 15 to start actually recording music after I can't talk after multiple times of like freestyling for people and stuff like that, and them always being like shocked by how I delivered my raps, and it just kind of went from there. So like 2014, 15, I freestyled for a few people. Then from there, I put out my first song, and then it just like amplified from there, like like a build up, a climax,
Right.
and we got here. How about yourself?
Okay. So for me, long story short, I guess it started out as a kid. Basically, I've been singing since I could talk, pretty much,
Okay.
according to my grandmother. Um, but no, was raised in the church, Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church, here in Colorado Springs. Was born in Hawaii, lived there for a little bit, and then of course the military brought us here. I was actually raised by my grandparents. So my
Okay.
grandmother, she was in, so she played the trombone. Growing
Oh, okay.
up.
Come on now.
Yeah, and she actually
Some
had,
music in my bones, in my
right?
family. Right.
But no, she actually had a music scholarship, and unfortunately, she didn't get to go.
Okay.
But she really pushed me to do it, and I've played for many artists, gospel artists, Christian artists. But for the music that I'm making now, it started back in 2009 when I was actually signed to a local record label called Confidential Records. Still in
Okay.
existence.
Come on now.
I put out my first two mixtapes. Sorry, no, one, two, no, four. Sorry, first four mixtapes.
You said four, y'all.
Four
Not
mixtapes.
one, not two, but four. Okay, I'm here for it. Come on now.
Yep, and yeah, so put my first four projects through them. We ended up leaving. I ended up leaving, but we had a mutual agreement, so I didn't owe them nothing. They didn't owe me anything. Um,
Okay.
and then I just went independent and just started releasing singles, and then just grew from there. And in 2018, released my first album after like 10 years of saying I'm gonna release an album.
All right. But I'm happy it happened.
Right, and it happened, and here we are now, 5 EPs later, and on the second album.
Yes, I'm here for it. I think that's so such a blessing to have someone in your family that indulged and was in the music world and stuff like that, and sadly wasn't able to like fully be accessible to that privilege of like going full-fledged with the career of music, but giving you the blessing to say, hey, I didn't do it, but I want you to do it because you know they could vicariously live through you, in a sense, far as like you went ahead and did what you had to do and did what they wanted. Like they planted a seed in you, and I feel like that's such a beautiful thing, especially in Black culture. When we do indulge in breaking generational, curses and just going forth with dreams, because sometimes we have, family members that wanted to do the same things that we're doing right about now, but they didn't have the resources, or they didn't have the time, or they didn't have the availability. So,
Right.
because people have kids early, or people were just dealing with life, or whatever the situation is. So it's definitely a blessing.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. So let me get my Wendy Williams. No, but no. So basically, my first question to ask you is, because you were um a part of the gospel world, and I don't know if you still are a part of the gospel world. I don't know if you still do record that type of music. I know you say you're doing other alternative music. That's kind of like,
Yeah.
want to say inside, but no. How did you feel with watching the Clark sisters and just you knowing the inside of that world? Because I went to church, I seen, the choir and all that stuff like that, but you actually indulged in that world, so you know the background scenes and stuff like that. So how did that movie impact you, and how did your experiences impact you as well?
So when it comes to the Clark sisters, I mean, they really influenced me, I would say, more as a drummer.
Okay.
I do play multiple instruments, and so, as a drummer coming up, the Clark. I mean, let's just put it this way: the Clark sisters, Kurt Franklin, Hezekiah Walker. They had the bops. you know,
Right, very much. No,
they
very much.
really did. So those are the groups I really listen to. But in terms of me indulging in that world, I mean, two of my aunts are actually gospel artists. Um,
Okay.
One is the legendary evangelist Ruby Terry.
Come
Um,
on now.
yeah, and then the other one, Miss Connie Francis Hicks out of Lawton, Oklahoma. Um,
Okay.
so I grew up watching them. I grew up listening to their music, especially evangelist Ruby Terry. Grew up listening to her music. And that's you know, like knowing that I had basically gospel royalty in my own family, that
Hmm.
just made me want to, do it even more. But my grandmother,
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna bring up my grandma a lot because
Oh,
she,
shout out for Granny.
right? She really, I'm not gonna lie to you, she really, really pushed me. She got me in the Gospel Music Workshop of America. We actually have a chapter here that we
Okay.
helped start. And through that and through them, I was able to travel. I was able to play for people like Reverend Timothy Wright before he passed, Albertina Walker before she passed, Shirley Caesar. I could have a whole list.
Oh,
But,
come on now. A resume.
right, I have a resume, but I don't flex it. Let me tell you, I don't really flex it because, to me,
Right, but I mean, it's a privilege that you had experience to play with those legendary individuals.
yeah,
Whether they're here or not here anymore, it's on your resume. Flex that hoe.
right.
Period.
But no, but like I said, in church, like I said, I played in church, choir directed, sang. I did everything. What got me in choir directing though was
Hmm.
Ricky Dillard.
Okay.
Ricky Dillard and Orlando Draper. Those two are like super duper influences of mine, but also I have another guy, Reverend Neil Brown, here in Colorado Springs. Grew up under him. He was my first youth pastor. And
Okay.
you could tell he was like Ricky Dillard Jr.
Right. Okay. Come on now.
So I really learned from him as well. So, but again, as far as the industry goes, I mean, two aunts, family full of musicians, singers. Some of my aunts had their own choir, had their own group. My great grandfather was a bass player. So for me, it came natural out of all my siblings.
Right.
It came natural more to me. In music, and as a kid growing up, I had a lot of anger management issues. I had a lot of developmental issues. Like
Hmm.
literally, when I was born, doctors told my grandmother that I wouldn't live past the age of 10. And
Oh.
yeah, and then my grandmother was like, "Oh, really?" That because my grandmother, she believed God so much. She was like, "Okay." I got you. 6 months later, went back to the doctor. The doctor was like, whose child is this?
Right. Period.
You know, so
The
with
child of God, honey.
exactly. So I mean, I've been very blessed, and God has been wonderful to me, and that's what I tell people. You know, especially being gay and everything. It's like, how can you still rep Jesus and and be
Right.
gay? But it's like, let me tell you, my God has been all up in my life, and He still is. And now I'm so blessed to now have people actually like the music that I'm doing. I mean, it's not that
Right.
it's not that people didn't like it before, but it's like more
It's a
so.
big transition.
Yeah, it's a big transition. And like I
Mhm.
said, I was a worship pastor at one point. I did all of that. I was so far in the program of church
Right.
that and actually I ended up leaving church altogether because it's interesting how, and some people will say, well, God wouldn't tell you to leave a church. Actually, God told me to leave.
Right. Well, I
God,
mean, I think also it's like the environment sometimes it might become too overwhelming.
well, that, and it was very overwhelming because at this time I was a worship pastor, well, worship leader,
Hmm.
whatever you want to call it. And, I had got so caught up in the program and the ritual, in the rituals of church that God, I was missing God. I literally was missing God because I was
Right.
so wrapped up in playing 2, 3, 4 services a Sunday, playing Wednesday night. Then you got choir rehearsal Monday, Tuesday, got praise team meeting on,
Oh,
every
he was
day.
booked.
I was booked. You know,
Yeah, he was booked.
I was, and but it took me leaving church to find
Hmm.
out how real God actually is.
Talk about it.
So now I don't really
Talk
go
about
to
it.
church. I mean, I'll watch the live stream though. I will watch the live stream. Shout out to Harvest Church in Denver. I will
Come
watch
on, trust y'all.
you know, I just don't actually physically go to church anymore. Well, unless they call me. Like I have one of my bros over at True Spirit in the Springs, who will call me and be like, Dom, can you can you please come through? But other than that, I don't really I don't do church anymore. And
All
sometimes I
right.
would say that I'm a little embarrassed to sometimes go to church because of the music that I make and people know.
Right. Right. I think that is like such a big, I guess, because it's such a big transition from what people know you as to what you become, what you became.
Yep. It's a huge transition.
And I think also you just live in a different identity. Right. And you be in a different identities and I don't know. I feel like sometimes we're meant to do certain things for a certain period of time, and then we move on. You make your mark. You do what you got to do. You obviously you got you a good ass. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, God. You got you a good resume, and now you're moving forward and you're doing other music. I feel like music is just uh, a pure thing in general. Like whatever it is, I feel like music is music. It's dialogue. It's a story being told. And I think just like in the Bible, with many characters in the Bible and stuff like that, he didn't pick the pretty, innocent girls and boys to tell his stories or to do his deeds. He picked drunks, prostitutes, and so on and so forth. So it's like at some point we have to take away this goody two shoe image of who's supposed to deliver a message and just actually listen to the message, you
True.
know, and
True.
do what you got to do. I'm sorry, I live downtown, so sometimes people be bumping their cars and stuff like that.
Nah, you good. I live in the city too, so you good.
Yeah, yeah, but no, that's very exciting to like learn, like your backstory on like how you got here and what brought you here and what you're doing now, which I love your current music and stuff like that. I would love to listen to your previous music as well, no, because I'm definitely a fan of all genres of music. If it hit me and I feel it, I'm gonna play it. you know
Yeah,
that's
that's
just how I feel, no matter what the genre is.
right.
So how did you come across me, or like how did I stumble across your desk?
So coming to that story, so Rayshawn Chisholm of the Professor's Lounge, again, shout
Okay.
out to him. Um,
Shout out to him, yes.
so I've known him for a few years now. It's been some time, and he's actually supported me since like the beginning of my album process. Um,
Yeah,
and
shout out to him.
actually, he
So,
was the first. He was the first, I guess you could say, radio show that actually played my music when no one else would play it.
oh wow,
You
that's
know,
amazing.
so it was through him. And actually, I went on. I can't remember the day, but it was one day I went on to the Professor's Lounge page, and I saw that you had posted. So I'm
Hmm.
like, okay. I looked at the cover of it was of your EP album, and I'm
Oh,
like,
this will be Anthony Taylor.
exactly.
Oh,
And I was like, okay, maybe let me just check this dude out. I don't know.
right.
But I'm into like, what I'm saying. I want to be I do want to say this. I want to be an advocate and of support to my fellow Black queer artists,
Right. We
because
need it, definitely.
we need it. So I was like, okay, let me, I saw the Spotify link. Okay, let me just click on that, see what's up. Open up in my Spotify. I said, okay, I'm gonna listen to it. So that day, I actually ended up driving out of town. So I said, okay, I'm gonna be on the road for a couple hours. Let me go ahead and bop it up, see what's up. So I played the
Okay.
whole thing. Literally played the entire album. And actually,
Yes.
I think I did like one whole and then like a half.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, just hearing it in that moment, I was like, okay, I see, I see what he doing. I see, I hear, I hear the gifting and everything, and I'm like, okay, let me look at his previous stuff and see if there's a difference. And I'm like, okay, well, your previous stuff was, in my opinion, was a little bit more happy. It had more of a happier tone. Um,
Hmm.
but then that brings me to this question: why the disobedience of Jimmy Taylor? Like, where did that? I mean, okay, I get it's very. I'm just gonna say it's very Nightmare on Elm Street ish.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So definitely, because a lot of people always ask that, or when they do listen to it, they're like, "Damn, it's kind of a little dark," you know. But basically, when I approached making this, at first it was gonna be an EP. I consider it a bridge project, like bridging to the next situation. I don't consider it EP. I don't consider it album. I just consider it its own thing. But I went with EP because I didn't want to say it's an album because I did put out an album. I did. Boys Just Want to Have Fun.
Right.
Back in 2018. So that was like a whole different time period in my life as well. um, I feel like when I did approach the recording process for the Disobedience of Jimmy Taylor, I just wanted to like express this character that I was creating since I started indulging in music, and I always gave hints of him in different songs or different song titles and stuff like that, and I felt like I wanted to elaborate on his origins and where he come from and what he's doing, and it definitely is more on the dark side because it definitely brings you more like, okay, like what is he talking about, what's going on, even my mom listening to certain things are like the trailers I was putting out, she was kind of scared by it because she was like, I can't watch this at night. I mean, I gotta watch it in the morning because you having stuff popping out and stuff like that. But I'm a big horror film. I mean, I'm a big horror genre uh fan. So I love scary movies. I love the real classic scary movies as well. And I feel like with the Disobedience of Jimmy Taylor, I wanted you to feel that feeling like, oh, what's going on? Like, it's dark in here. I'm kind of a little scared. I don't know I don't know if I want to play the next song or not.
Right.
I wanted that feeling of you just watching one of your favorite childhood horror movies that scared the shit out of you. Something that you kind of had nightmares about, something that never left your mind. And when you go and watch other horror movies, you kind of compare it, unknowingly, because that at one point horror movies like A Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween and so on and so forth, those was like pivotal moments, and those were like movies that we would never forget because the writing, the production, the actors, etc. They brought that vision to life. Um, so I definitely, like I said, I was like, let me play around with it. Let me do something different this time. Let me express uh, a different side of me. And I think I take it as a compliment that you kind of like was like, okay, it's a little dark because I want you to feel that. Like that was definitely my purpose of that project.
Okay, okay. So, I mean, okay, so now we know why it's dark.
Right.
Like
No
when,
one really ever asked me that either. Now that I think about it, like people always express the liking of it and their favorite tracks and stuff like that, but no one ever asks why is it so dark.
well, I mean, and the thing is, it gets like a little lighter, like towards the middle, but
Right.
then, which is fine, but it was just like kind of starting off like, like okay, when it first started, kind of like with the whole Freddy Krueger, what was it, the theme song type deal? It was like one, two,
Yeah.
three, you know.
Yeah.
But it kind of started off with that. I was like, oh shit, like okay, this could go a lot of ways. You know?
I
And
don't know why, but I'm like imagining like you on a roll and you like looking around like what the
I legit, I was on the
what
road.
did I press play on?
I was on the road in broad freaking daylight. Like, and the sad part is where I'm going is just
Like, do I want to press play on the next song or do I want to just leave it at this? Do I
right.
want to conclude
Like,
this moment?
no, I was driving like in those small towns, like those really really small
Hmm.
towns where like basically black people go and don't come back.
Oh, right.
So yeah, so I was listening to it while going through those towns, and
Right.
I'm just saying like, okay, but then it lightened up.
I'm
And I was like, all right, cool.
Right, no, definitely. I wanted it to be that way because I'm actually working on the sequel to it. Like basically, I don't know if I'm gonna break it into threes or twos. Right about now I'm going with twos. And the sequel of it, the theme it transitions into another theme. And it's basically like a continuation. So like I know a lot of people were asking and like saying like, are we gonna do like a deluxe or whatever the situation is. So this is what I'm doing now is going to be considered a deluxe,
Okay,
but it's more like part one, part two, you know,
okay,
rather than repackaging everything with all the same songs and then adding like 4 or 3 new songs on here. No, I feel like I can rip it out, do the landscape over and stuff like that, and actually start with a new theme and keep it still cohesive with the previous,
okay.
part to it.
Got
And I'm definitely working on that right about now. I'm picking production for that, and
nice.
maybe we need to. I need to throw you up there on something.
I know, like I've been getting hit up so much now for like features and stuff. I'm like, people,
Right.
I
You
can't
have
be
a nice
everybody.
voice. I do like your voice.
Thank you. I know,
Yeah.
like my talking voice and my singing voice, two different people. But
Same here. Because I rap in a deep flow, so it's like my
you
tone voice
do.
definitely totally different.
Yeah.
So you probably was like you think you about to get that, and then you get this. Like, oh, okay.
Oh my.
Yes.
All right.
So okay, like I said, I definitely, we were definitely checking out each other's music and stuff like that. And I do like the song I wrote down some notes. I do like the song All I Wanna Do.
Okay.
Um and it was another one I liked as well. Well, I'll start with All I Wanna Do first.
Okay.
But there's another one that I really liked and I felt like it was very dope. Um I wanna say Missing You was the other one. First of all, let's start. I do like the volume one, volume two, and stuff like that. Like I feel like that creates like different eras of you. So like let's start off like I said, let's start off with All I Want to Do. So like what was the process or recording process or what inspired that track for you? Because definitely love that track.
Thank you. so far that's like everybody's favorite one for now.
Yeah, it definitely just I just like the vibe of it. The vibe itself just like captures you in, and I'm like, sometimes when you go and listen to people, you don't know. I like to have a clear mind. I don't like to contrast or compare them to anybody and stuff like that. We are all inspired by somebody, something.
Right.
But I still like to have a clear mind with just listening to other independent artists, just to see what they're gonna give. So I listened to that with a clear mind, and I was like, okay, come on now.
Right.
So what was the process with that?
Okay, good question. So
Yes.
the process with All I Want to Do. Okay, so I had this instrumental that shout out to splice.com, who has been helping,
Okay.
like literally splice.com has been such a great tool. But no, I
Come on
had
now, you better plug it in.
right. So I made an instrumental with using splice sounds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had that instrumental for about, I think, 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I don't know what to. At first, I was like, I don't know what to do with it, whatever, whatever. And then one day, I just played it, and the chorus came first. So the chorus, I was like, and I just hummed it. Didn't really have any words. And then all of a sudden, just one day, I sat at my studio computer or whatever, played the beat
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over. Like I literally sat there for like 2 hours just playing the beat. And I actually wrote the lyrics in about 30 minutes.
Okay. Come on now. Come on,
So
fast writer.
and that doesn't always happen, but it just happened.
Right.
And this is coming off of the song "What You Want." So I released "What
I'm
You
about to get to that one too, because that's one of I think that's the one that really was like, oh, okay, I fuck with his music. Like I really like I like what I'm hearing.
that was the one that really made a lot of people be like, "Oh fuck!" Like Dom is
Yeah, yeah,
legit,
like you definitely did what you had to do with that one, and
right?
you definitely that definitely solidified me as like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna stay in trance with this. I like what is given.
Right.
So
So,
like, what's the recording process with that one?
well, that one. So, with All I Want to Do, just to finish that one, I was coming off of the, I guess you could say, popularity of what you want, and
Mm-hmm.
so I took like an extra month on Volume 3, and All I Want to Do is what came out of it. So,
Okay.
because I was like, okay, now that I got what you want, it's like, oh shit, you know what? I gotta back this up.
it's always that I know definitely what you're saying. Like it's always that like, okay, now I'm here, and everyone is like indulging, and it's like, okay, I gotta have a follow up to keep
Exactly.
this fantasy happening. You know,
Exactly.
other than that, they're gonna be like, okay, come back next time. you
And
know.
yeah, and I was like, yo, I gotta have at least one. I gotta have at least one. So like I said, that's when All I Want to Do came about. Went ahead and recorded it. It took me a few hours to record it. After it was done, mixed it, whatever I needed to do. And then I announced that Volume 3 was coming out, and then it came out, and of course, that one has now surpassed What You Want, uh,
Right.
which is great because.
Which is amazing, correct. So, yeah.
But now I'm like, oh,
That consecutiveness is definitely dope, you know.
it is. But at the same time, now it's like, okay, now I got to do the whole triangle. I got to complete the triangle. I got to complete it.
Yeah. And
So
that's I think that's something as well as artists is that we kind of be like, we're like everything is mental for us.
mhm,
It's like when we're in a good place or we're in a creative place. I don't
right,
want to say a bad place, but a creative place that we're taking experiences and translating it into words and stuff like that. Um, like to reference Mary J. Blige. I'm a big fan of Mary J. Blige. I love her music and stuff like that. I love so it's like I feel like she's someone like with her first few, like maybe first 3 albums,
mhm,
those albums were gold because they were from experience. And
yes,
I say her experience has stopped, but those albums is the albums like that really punch you in the gut.
Right.
you know, and then just the production on those albums, like My Life, the production on that, just the bass, everything. I'm just like, I was listening to it the other day, you know, heading to do my little ones and twos, and I was like, damn, Mary, okay, Mary, like you really had to say what you had to say, but not only did you say what you say, you had production to back you up.
Right.
And you may not be this or that, or people may not. I consider her a great singer, but
Yeah.
people may not consider you the great vocalist or whatever the situation is. But you utilize what you had and you push that shit through. You know, so I'm here for it. Totally. But I feel like with your music, um, it seems like it's coming from a lot of experiences, or it's coming from places and spaces that you were or maybe are, so like were those singles projected from experiences, or like was it just like you just looping the beat and just having fun that
Good
night?
question.
I'm on my Wendy Williams.
Okay, so if I were to break it down by song, Volume
Mm-hmm.
1, Don't Waste Your Time, and
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, both of those songs were from Experience.
Okay.
Volume 2,
Mm-hmm.
which is What You Want and Missing You, What You Want was
Mm-hmm.
basically, let's just be real, sexual frustration because of COVID. Okay.
Period.
So yeah, so again, had a beat. Well, I had some sounds from Splice. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let me, so I made something. It turned out to be What You Want and Missing You. But no, What You
Mm-hmm.
Want was basically purely like sexual frustration fantasy type shit. And then, of course, Missing You was, I would say Missing You was more from experience. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, but definitely What You Want is that fantasy type one. But I literally think
Right.
that, so the thing is, before What You Want came out, and the writing process for that, again, wrote it in like an hour. I would say
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes to an hour, wrote it, recorded it, did the whole mixing, all the other stuff. I did all that in a matter of a couple hours. And then I did Missing You right behind it, all in the same
Mm-hmm.
session. And then
Right.
next day I was like, okay, we're ready for volume 2. But no,
Right.
but yeah, What You Want, basically both songs were just quarantining, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just made
I
from
feel. I mean, I love them. I mean, when I listen to like those records, especially What You Want, it definitely just really puts you in this real. Like I'm a visual type person, so when I'm listening to music, I actually see scenes in my head. That's the type of person I am, and it definitely just sets the mood, and it just put you in some 1950s, 60 like little movie. It like it actually it creates its own illusion for itself. And I think um I don't know. I just feel like even though you say you were just like quarantining and it was just like inspiration. The same thing with with my project. The most of the songs were just written at me being home, not being able to go nowhere, and I'm like, keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. I feel like that's a dope thing to do. Even during a damn pandemic, you're able to create, uh, you're able to basically create sounds that seem like you live in life, like you out here. You're not confined into a house. You're actually able to breathe and shit, and you're experiencing some type of love, lust. It was giving all those different types of feelings.
yeah.
But it still kept you indulged, and that's what I really liked about your music.
Well, thank you. I mean, but literally, like, I
You're
literally
welcome.
had, but let's just be real though. I had so many people hit me up about What You Want because I literally had people out here thinking that I'm just quarantining eating ass. I,
Yeah,
I literally,
and it's not wrong with that. It's not wrong with that. But no,
yeah, but people literally was like, "Yo, Dom, like, you out here just eating ass, bro? Like, what the fuck is you
yeah.
doing?" I'm like,
Like
bro,
there was concern.
yeah, people was legit concerned, but they love the song though. They love the song.
Right.
And they were just they were just like, Dom out here just going wild, creating songs and eating ass and shit.
Listen.
Like, damn.
He left the church and just started eating ass and like all types of shit going down. No, but I mean, it be like that. I feel like sometimes, like someone I love as well. You know, Janet Jackson. She's someone that I listen to a lot as well. Or just and you know, I'm influenced by so many different people. But Janet, let's speak on Janet. I'm gonna stay on Janet for a little bit. Janet, I love Janet that she was in sexual liberation of herself.
Yes.
And The Velvet Rope, one of my favorite albums. And just how she even the skits, like her, she was playing with her little, you know, playing with her little lady box. And you know, it was just right, okay. And it was just raw and it was real. And these are the things, these are the people I grew up on. So when people hear my music and they're like, damn, you know, Seven, you be spitting, but you're a little, you are very explicit. You are, you know, it's because of the shit I grew up on. You know, the things that my mom was bumping when I was home. My mother wasn't bumping no DM Kids Bop. She was bumping me J. Blige, DMX,
Yep.
LL Cool J, you know, Biggie, you know, so it wasn't no sugar-coated damn childhood. And it's not like it was a bad thing. It just made me appreciate rawness and music and being able to just like say what you want and feel it. I feel like in this time and age, they're so policed. People are so out to police you on what you think and what you feel because it's not what they want for you. And it's like, girl, if I want to get on a song and moan for 7 hours and channel Donna Summers, I will. You know, if I want to talk about dick and ass, I can.
I mean,
Because
yeah.
it's my shit. It's my shit.
Yeah, that's your shit. That's
okay.
But that's the thing, though. That's your artistic expression, and that's ultimately, especially in the LGBTQ community, ultimately, you know, that's what it boils down to. Like, this is our artistic expression. Now, you know,
very much.
You know, and so I just find it interesting. Like, while we're on the subject of LGBT music, like, I find it super interesting because I was turned down by 4 Pride Fest this year in my own state, basically saying that I'm not, well, they were saying basically that I'm not, quote unquote, basically not family friendly. Now, mind you, I do have a few family friendly songs that I could have done. Not a problem.
Right.
Which I probably would have done those songs anyway. But to be told that, you know, oh, well, your music's too explicit. Okay, I could, you know what I'm saying? I could clean it up. That's not the issue. But to not even be given that opportunity to do that within my own community is like, okay.
They are like radio edits don't exist.
Well, the radio edits exist, but here's the problem with that, though. Here's the problem that I've seen so far with like Pride Fest and other LGBT events here is that they'll invite the drag queens, and mind you, I love my drag queens. I love every single last one of them. But
shout out to my sisters,
right? But what I don't like though is that they are the only source of entertainment on the whole program.
Yeah,
and it's
so
like
that's kind of like the down.
Yeah, and it's like, well, how come the music artists? How come we can't, you know, be on the same
express
page?
Ourselves as well?
Well, and the thing is, though, they'll tell the music artists, oh, unless you're Tadra Call, let's put that out there. Unless you're Tadra Call, like you gotta, you know, they'll tell us you got to censor your music. You can't. Everything has to be family friendly. But I've seen where the drag queens are allowed to perform songs similar to like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, WAP. They can say a bunch of bitches and hoes all through the song, and it's perfectly fine.
I've seen it. I've been at drag shows. Yeah, like
you know, but then the rapper comes up or the singer comes up, we have to clean.
And they got to be edited as hell.
Exactly. Right. And, you know, and that's the thing, one of the things that I want to change is like, let us just express our art the way you allow others to express their art, you know? And, you know, but what's your take? What's your experience?
That's weird.
That is weird.
I mean, like, I'm just, you know, reacting to like what you're saying because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I've done, I've done New Haven Pride a few years. I performed out at the Soli Met Gala
Okay.
back last year in New York. It was part of World Pride in New York last year, and that was dope. And I met some celebs there and stuff like that. So I've been doing all different types of venues and Pride events, festivals, or whatever the situation is. But I've always submitted my shit, and they always approved it and let me slide through. So I'm like, where what is going on there that they have to tell you that your music is not kid friendly? I'm like, girl, that's like for the damn kids. We need to have a 16 and plus type crowd and something because this ain't for the kids. And if you feel like my music is too explicit, then that's where edits come in at and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you know how to change up things and so on and so forth. But that's a part of our job as artists. And so it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's weird to censor someone and tell them that they have to perform this and that.
Yeah.
But other people, drag queens, where you at, they're able to perform my neck, my back, my ass, my crack.
And that's it. That's
split.
Fully, fully unedited, full.
Even here, the Pride Fest is here. They perform wherever the fuck they want to perform.
Well, and that's the
in
thing.
New York, they perform wherever they want to perform.
Right. And I guess that's the difference between the East and the West, because again, I'm in Colorado,
right.
so we're a little
Colorado on the bullshit.
Well, they're more conservative, which I understand, but at the same time. Mm-hmm. My thing is, why do we keep trying to make an event that's technically not family friendly?
Right. It's for the grown folks.
It is. It's for
and they can also divide it too. They can have crowds that's for the younger gays, and then they can have the 16 plus, 17 plus crowds as well. You can divide those things. It happens everywhere. At all types of events, they have, all right, it's for the grown folks, go your ass to the bed now, children. That's what it's given. Right. But I don't feel like that should have been something that was a part of their system a long time ago.
True.
Like, how can y'all censor someone, but you let the drag queens away? And there's nothing. I love the drag queens. I have friends that are professional drag queens. Yep. There's nothing against them. But far as where you're at, it just seems like what the artists is, we're going to limit what y'all say. But the drag queens, y'all can go ahead and y'all can pop pussy and shake your ass.
Yeah.
Say what you got to say and get your tips for the night and, whatever the situation is. But I don't know. That's weird. And it's kind of like, it kind of makes you feel a way about your, where you're at. Mm-hmm. It's like, do you really support us?
Well,
or do you,
Well, that is the question, though. Do you really support us? Because, and I've even said this before, if you really support queer artists, why aren't you trying to, why aren't we creating a space for all of us to be able to win? Why aren't we creating a space where all of us can share our art, whether it be drag, music, painting, sculpt, whatever it is? Why aren't we trying to create that space? And from what I've seen so far lately, there's more competition as to who gets all authority over the gay bar, and who gets to perform there on a regular basis and who doesn't. And the people who don't get to perform at these places on a regular basis are saying, well, can we at least share a space? And you got one group saying no, the other group, it's crazy. But and I've even been told like Dom, why don't you just drop the gay part, or why don't you drop the queer black R&B or black queer R&B artist and just say you're an R&B artist? Well, true, I could do that because I want everyone to be able, and a multitude of people, not multitude, but a lot of people do listen to my music, whether they're straight, gay, whatever.
Right, same here. Right.
But it's like, where is my community? Where's my people? Even the black community, and I don't know how it is out there, but I've even been told by a black organization here that when my first album came out, I sent some music to them, and basically I was told that my music wasn't black enough. And I'm like, okay. And like I said, these are just like frustrations that, some of us have to deal with.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's like,
How the hell are you gonna tell someone their music is not black enough? Is it what do I have to sound like damn James Brown or what? What is it? What is it?
well,
What's the issue?
I think they were looking for more. I think they were trying to go for like, oh, we want you to be more of an R&B artist, or we want more of that black sound, which is fine because back then
Right.
my first album was a little bit more pop. It was more dance, but I'm like, I thought music.
But we exist everywhere. We don't just exist in damn hip hop. We don't just exist in R&B. We exist in rock. We exist in, jazz. I think sometimes, not sometimes, that's a lie. Most times, we are so censored to express ourselves in different lanes. Like when we do touch a little, EDM beat or whatever the situation is. Oh, they're gonna pop, and then we go on a hip hop side. Oh yeah, they back to they back with the niggas now. But it's like, why can't I exist in both spaces? Because that's not me. I'm not one dimensional. I have so many different facets to my being as an artist. Why do I only have to create rap music or hip hop or the situation is? I love what I do.
Right.
That is always gonna be my foundation. That is what inspired me. But it's like, if you were to make pop records or whatever the situation is, why does my race have to be the topic? Oh, you're not black enough.
It is.
Okay, so what you want me to be?
Exactly.
Because when I leave here, I'm black. When I die, I'm black.
Right.
So what is enough?
Well, that is a good question. What is enough? And
Right.
I guess you could say now my music is more black because do
you feel like you were bullied into it, or do you feel like you naturally just went into a more black side of things?
Okay, so well, I'm not gonna say I was bullied. I will say I was more coached and encouraged by by a couple of my cousins and someone else basically saying, hey, your voice is more R&B, why don't you try that, whatever. And they just encouraged me. So one day, and this is early this year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make music again. Let me go ahead and try the R&B thing. And then now here we got volumes 1, 2, 3, and we got we got an album coming, with that.
Right.
Because now it's like after I would say after volume 1 and especially after volume 2, I was like, I feel more comfortable. I feel like, okay, I feel like this is my lane. I feel like I can excel in this lane, and and thankfully it's starting to work. But again, it's like, okay, what else can I be except for myself when it comes to performing in our own community? And and like I said, I'll continue to make music. I'll continue to and I'm saying, same thing for you. We'll continue to do what we do, regardless if people think it's not black enough, regardless if people don't think, oh, well, it's not, it's not the type of R&B I like, or, well, I mean, unfortunately, I can't please every damn body. I'm sorry. I can't.
We can't. And we try to sometimes, and that's where I kind of feel like that's where we fall at with ourselves, because it's like we're trying to please. Like, I mean, that's, to me, I'm sorry that you went through those experiences, because those are traumatic experiences. I feel like for me, for myself, my beginning stages was I went to a black owned studio in the beginning, and they was aware of me, I was aware of them and stuff like that. They've heard my sessions and things and stuff like that. I didn't really get the acknowledgement I felt like I could have got if I was straight, because when I went to where I record at now is a white owned studio. And shout outs to Vic, is a very dope environment, and he's, from the first day I recorded there, I felt at home. I felt centered, and he was like, I love your style of rap and things and stuff like that. And a lot of great people recorded there: RuPaul, Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown. So he has a whole catalog of people that recorded at that same studio. So it's just like, for me to go from a black space to a white space, in a sense, and feel capitalized on and feel confirmed as like, oh, you're doing your thing. It kind of like doubles back to like them saying like, I don't think this is black enough. I feel like you should go on this side. I feel like you should give us some Bobby Brown. You're trying to give us some little Sam Smith, but we need you going to Bobby Brown.
I could do Bobby Brown,
Right, but it's like, why do you have to limit yourself so much? Like, why do I have to convert in order for you to buy what I'm selling? Because if a white artist comes out doing white music, or not white music, I shouldn't say white music, but a white artist come out doing what they consider pop, and then they go over on the groovy, jazzy R&B side, and now they're experimenting and all that other good shit and stuff like that. And now they're making, music like Usher and Chris Brown and stuff like that. When they were like heavily in the R&B, they get around and fuck applause. I love this. Look at you. You're amazing. But us, we have to be either this or that.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta pick. Either you're gonna be gay or you're gonna be straight. Because if you're gonna be gay, then we're gonna have to really find comfortability with you.
Right.
If you're straight, you can say what the fuck you want to say in your music, and people won't think twice about it.
Well, and that's the thing and that's the thing I told a few people. I said, yo, I can't sit here and deny the fact that I'm gay. I'm sorry. I can't.
Period.
Yes, I can make music that's kind of general, which is what I did with like What You Want and All I Want to Do, where it was just more generalized. But at the same time, it's from a gay artist. So,
right.
like regardless, of if you don't like me, the fact is you like the music. And that's,
that fucking part.
But
I could see it. I could see it for you doing both.
Well,
I like your voice,
Thank you.
So I could see it for you doing both. I don't know why they felt as though to make it a pivotal point to convert you, or well, let's have an inspirational talk and whatever the situation is. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like people are just weird with the shit they do. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. I made you talk.
No, you're good. No, people are super weird, and it's crazy. It really is. But
right.
I mean, I'm grateful for the people who are listening to my music and they're loving it. So that's why I'm just like, okay, let me continue. Let me keep going.
Right. Definitely.
Because I'm giving people what they like. Now, for my next album, of course you're gonna get more R&B. You're gonna get like straight R&B, but it's done.
Right.
It's done my way, and it's being done the way.
And I was just about to say that, like, yeah, doing it your way. I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm gonna give it to you my way.
Well, the thing is,
and I feel like that's important.
It is. Well, the thing is, I've been giving it, and even you've been giving it to people like, we've been doing it our own way. Like, you do hip hop your own way. And that's why I was like, the Disobedience of Jimmy Taylor is so different because of the simple fact that it was inspired by horror films. But, at least the overall sound of it was inspired by, horror films. But you actually got some bops on there. Of course, like bringing it back to your album, your EP.
Whatever she want to be.
Yeah, whatever, album, EP, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Of course, my favorite song was Erykah Badu. Not only because
yes, everyone loves that song.
Well, not only because I'm a super freak fan of Erykah Badu, like
I love
it was
Erica.
like no, like when I tell you I'm a super freak fan, I was trying to buy her pussy incense. Okay, that's how
Oh
bad.
my god. I forgot she was selling those. I don't was it like a limited
So,
damn edition or something? She
like,
found well, she had found me years ago on Twitter. So like I kind of still be like, oh wow, okay. This
right,
what you gonna do for me? You gonna rip my wig like that, Erica?
I mean, I was floored. Like when I saw that she was selling incense that smells like her vagina. I said, hold up.
I want to smell
I was like,
it. Is that bad?
but at first I was like, ma'am, you're going too damn far. But you know what?
Right,
I will pay the $52.
right.
You
Because I
know,
want to see what it smells like. What's it
I
giving? Oils,
I want to know because like, yo,
a
I'm
little
still.
hint of sage.
But no, but like I said, with the song Erykah Badu, like, was
Hmm.
was it just that she was the inspiration for that whole song, or was there like something that you just connected with when it comes to her that made you create the song, or what was it?
Well, yeah. Well, for one, to answer your first part of the question, yeah, she definitely was the inspiration. With it, that's why she's like, that's why I reference her on the hook. I'm in the Erykah Badu shit, burning, incense in the crib while we do it. That's like basic stuff that reference her image and stuff like that. Um, I wrote that song from a standpoint of many places I've been, where a Negro that you're dealing with just change. Like something like it's like sun and sunlight, daylight, moonlight, moonlight and shit like that. And you feel that change.
Hmm.
That's why I opened the verse with put the tip back in like you into me. Why you acting like a friend to me? Got all the sweet ass on that canopy. Man, you looking like the motherfucking man to me. You built dream house, I want to go on it. But
Yeah.
basically the fact I was saying it like, it is metaphor, like, put the tip back in like you enemy. Like I'm like put that energy back into me like you enemy. Why the
Right.
fuck you acting like a friend to me? You got all the sweet ass on that canopy and you looking like like what's going on? Why are we in this confliction with self? Like what's going on? Like why you not feeling me the same? And we feel that. I'm an empath. I feel when things are off. And especially when I'm in a relationship, I know when things are off. And I wrote that from a place of just when you feel yourself falling out of love with the person or the person falling out of love with you. And it's kind of us acknowledging, so yeah, we're having this good old sex in the apartment and we burning incense and shit and we listen to Erykah Badu, but it's kind of like we're not even right acknowledging the fact that we're probably having breakup sex. Or probably, this probably like the last time we touch each other,
Right.
or whatever the situation is. So I definitely just wrote that from a place of just like I said, when you just notice like, damn, what's wrong? Like what's going on with us? And I kind of kept looping the beat over and over again, you know, and I think with the writing process itself, it was very fast. Like I think I got that song. I think I wrote that song under 30 minutes.
Okay.
Um, and I think I also just like I said, I'm a looper just like you are. I will loop the fuck out of the beat until I hit the words going, and it just like I don't know. I was like I gotta have this on a project. Like this is a song that I gotta have up there, and it's definitely a song I'm gonna put visuals to as well. And it's also a listener's favorite. Like everyone, of course, they do Nasty and all these different other tracks and stuff like that, but they always reference Erykah Badu, and they say it feel like grown folk music. And I like that because I was raised on that grown folk, even though I was too young to comprehend. I was raised on that grown folk music where you felt that shit. Like when I rap, I guess like singers as well. I don't know if you feel that energy in your core section when
Yeah.
I rap, especially certain songs that are with memories and shit like that. I feel it. And I'm just like, I'm going. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do a punch in, punch out. And then sometimes I just do the whole damn verse. And I'm like, oh shit, I was gonna punch in, punch out, but I'm just feeling it so damn much. I don't got time to stop, you know. But that's definitely one of my favorites. What's some other favorites or songs that you inquired about on that project?
Oh, okay. So actually, let's see. Okay. So,
Wait, what was your listening experience with Erykah Badu? I'm sorry.
oh,
I
my
meant to
listening
ask you that
experience.
first.
So the funny part is, okay. So I listened to. So when it got to Erykah Badu, um,
Hmm.
again, it felt like it did feel like very grown neo soul. You know, because like I said, we were raised upon that. You know, we were raised on that Jill Scott,
Hmm.
Erykah Badu combo.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
I'm sorry. Like I was, and the funny part is for me, I wasn't. I had to sneak to listen to Tupac and Biggie though. I had to sneak to listen to
Yeah, yeah, same here. I was not supposed to listen to that music at all.
that. Same thing with
But
Lil
thanks to my
Kim.
older brother, I got introduced to it.
Yeah, the same thing with Lil Kim. I actually got introduced to Lil Kim through a cousin, and you know how many licks came on.
How many lessons? Okay, come on now. That's clean here, okay?
But yeah, but no, but my listening experience with Erykah Badu was very like, okay, this kind of reminds me of like that late '90s neo soul when neo soul first kind of, came on the scene, and it was like a huge sound, out of Philly, and everything. I was like, okay, it gave me that vibe, especially with the
Hmm.
with the keys. It really gave me that
Yeah.
vibe. And then like with the words, I'm like, okay, especially when it got to the chorus, on that Erykah Badu shit. I was like, okay, I can, what I'm saying? I can still,
Okay.
but honestly though, like it kind of made me think of like her incense though, which is so weird.
I seen her selling these incense, but I don't know why. I just didn't think to
my
even indulge with it.
no, my thing is, we gotta buy the incense though. You gotta put it in the video because I can literally,
Right.
I can literally see myself listening to that song, have her put some
Hmm.
incense in the
Burning in that background.
just like
Right.
listen to your song Erykah Badu smelling her vagina.
Right.
So
I'm
I
here
can
for
imagine myself doing it, which is weird. Again, I'm fully gay, but that,
it.
which again, I was like, you know what? Let's find out what.
Listen, that's vintage. That's vintage cooch right there, honey.
I,
So, hey, I want to see what she giving. Because
exactly.
all her men as well, she changed all her men that she dealt with too.
I mean,
She converted them, honey.
she put a spiritual voodoo. She got that voodoo vagina. That's what she got.
Right. Right.
But no, but I will say, like, as far as another song that kind of caught my attention, it
Hmm.
was it was Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Like, so okay, what was first of all the title? When I first saw the title, I was like, oh shit, it might be like a religious piece. I don't freaking know. I know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. I did a whole study
Right. Right.
on it, so I was like, okay, this could go many ways. But what was your I would say, what was your writing process when it came to that? And did the title come first, or did it come after you wrote it?
Oh, it's like okay. You asking some good. Come on now. You better come with the questions. Um. Okay. So the writing process itself. I remember I kept hearing that beat, and I was listening to it, and I kept looping it as well. And I didn't necessarily know where I wanted to actually begin the verse at because the how it comes on like it's like you in like this field and you can hear like nature and it like it gives you that type of feeling like you're somewhere and you're around nature. So you're hearing birds chirping and shit, and you're hearing bees and shit flying around or
Yeah.
whatever the situation is. So I didn't know exactly where I wanted to begin the verse at just yet. But I know as soon as I heard it, I said, I feel like Fox Brown on that Broken Silence. Like I felt like that was my mood with this whole project. I felt like I had so much to prove not just as an MC, but just as someone that picking production, someone that's packaging a project together, someone that is just going against the odds. Like I'm recording a project during the damn pandemic, and I'm about to put it out during the pandemic, and I don't know what it's gonna do, how it's gonna sell, but I'm just gonna do it because I need to say what the fuck I need to say. It didn't take me long. I wrote 3 verses for the project. I wrote 3 verses for the song. The hook came very easily to me. This song kind of was like just me just taking my foot and putting it on the back of some rapper's neck. Well, a few rappers' necks.
Okay.
And it's letting them know, like, don't ever in your damn life, ever, ever question me or question my motherfucking pen. Okay.
Okay.
And sometimes you just gotta check your children. Those are my children. Sometimes I gotta check them or put them on timeout.
Right.
But overall, it was even with the sampling of the conversation at the end. That's from a interview I did with the Barbie Way podcast. I listened to that interview around the time that I was recording, about to record a song. So I added that in, like, legit in the studio. I was like, I got something to add at the end. Because I didn't have another verse, and I didn't want the song to just end after that 3rd verse. I said, I want to put something in there meaningful, a conversation that I was having that actually ties in with the message. It's basically like, I'm in a different life. I'm living my life. I got a new body doing my thing, and don't fuck with me. And I wanted to also reference the sandcastle syndrome that people have. Something I just created where people are so dedicated to watching others, build their sandcastles and do what they need to do for their lives that they neglect their own, but they're mad at you for getting your shit done. You can't be mad at me for getting my shit done because you're not focused on your own shit. So that's why I referenced that particular part of the conversation as well in a song. And the other question was, I think it was the title, right? The
Yeah.
title have the title originally. I think the title was originally something else. It wasn't. It wasn't Sodom and Gomorrah. It was something else. I'm trying to think. I forgot what the original title was, but I changed it to Sodom and Gomorrah because um, it just adds in the plot twist with the whole narrative of Jimmy, my rap alter ego, and him coming from a bloodline of witches and shit like that, and him being on his way to being a powerful warlock and things and stuff like that. So it just, that wicked town with Sodom and Gomorrah and stuff like that. It's basically saying like, hey, his origins was there and now it's here, and now he's like continuing exactly what he needs to do. But I know some people I was like, Sodom and Gomorrah, the hell's going. But no, so I knew to definitely title that for shock value. That was definitely something to shock people and make you press play, and you did.
Yeah.
You kind of like, oh, okay.
I mean, I pushed play on the whole album, but yeah, I mean,
And I appreciate
that. But no, it was just, but yeah, that title was very interesting. Like, why would he name a song Sodom and Gomorrah? And then you listen to the lyrics, and it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of the opposite, but
right.
and but it was still good. I did like that one. Like I said, I think those 2 songs really are the main ones that really caught my attention. Because I mean, I like the whole project, but I do feel like
Right.
Barbie 2000 was very Nicki Minaj's.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It had a Nicki vibe, not just the title, but just the overall track and the sound of it. Had that
Right. Very playful.
yeah, very playful. It had that Nicki Minaj Roman.
Right.
If
Right.
for people who don't remember, Nicki Minaj has an alter ego. His name is Roman.
Right.
He's a young gay boy.
Roman. Right.
And Roman was a fucking.
Listen, I think. Yeah, no, definitely. I think also because I come from that era of like people like Nicki, Slim Shady, Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
A lot of people that had all these different, even Ludacris. I don't think Ludacris have never had an actual name. I guess Ludacris is his alter ego. But just those people that had those very creative alter egos where you kind of knew like I'm listening to Missy, and I listen to Misdemeanor. You know, like I could tell the difference. Like
Right.
you listen to Nicki, and then you listen to Roman. Then you listen to Eminem, then you listen to some Shady. You know, so it's like you listen to Sev7en Taylor, now you listen to Jimmy. So I definitely was inspired by that just narrative of like, okay, I want people to be able to listen and hear the big difference between Seven and Jimmy. And definitely the track definitely was more it was more East Coast. It was more East Coast, so it definitely gave you a little Nicki vibes and things and stuff like that. She's one of my rap influences.
Right.
And I think also I don't know, I have fun with the beat. I have fun with the beat. It reminded me of the one, here comes the one to the three to the four. You know that so it's like so that's why that was part of my first, you know, the first verse of the song. Like one, here comes the one to the three to the four. Seven pulling up, gotta be a two-door. Nigga so mad that I'm popping in the green. Nigga been a legend. You know, so it's like I wanted to play off of that because I'm so East Coast, you know, with shit. So it's like I feel
Yeah.
like us East Coast rappers, we do have a similar sound, you know, in
Yeah.
many different ways, you know.
Oh
So you
yeah.
can kind of tell the difference between someone that's from the East Coast and someone from the West Coast and so on and so forth.
Oh yeah. You could. I mean, you were able to tell the difference, but now it's kind of interesting how with some people you really can't tell the difference now. It's so
Right.
weird because you got. I mean, no offense to trap. I listen to the trap. I do, but you look
Right.
at like, let's say you have Future and then you have Lil Uzi Vert, two
Mm-hmm.
completely different rappers. They sound
Mm-hmm.
so similar, and it's like
Right.
or even now you got who is it, Tyga, or yeah, even let's throw up Tyga and who's the other? I was listening to him the other day. Damn. Oh, Tyga and freaking damn. I had someone and I had this person. I had them in my head. But
No,
no,
it'd be like that, and it really leave your head real fast and then come back.
it'll come back. But no, but like I say,
It
it's
happened like that.
everyone kind of
What
sounds
song was it?
G Easy. There it is. It
G.
was G Easy. Cause
He
like
he's kind of very like.
he's
It's kind of interesting because listening to him, he sounds black. To be
thank you.
honest,
He does. He
he
sounds
sounds
super black.
black. But when I see him, I see it, and nothing wrong with it. But I see a Caucasian man, and it's like, I don't know if I want to, you know, I don't know if I should be flattered or should I be offended? Because I'm like,
I mean,
your sound is a black sound. You're captivating and taking a space that could be for a black artist, you know. So I don't know about. Listen, I can go into many different little things,
well,
but
I mean, well, we said the same thing about Macklemore when he first came
right.
out. We said the same thing about him,
Oh, I
and
forgot. I totally forgot about him.
well, because I mean, he hasn't been out in a minute, but it's just how he took a Grammy from Kendrick Lamar, and and people were mad at him for taking the Grammy and even accepting it, but he even stood up and said, "Hey, Kendrick is the one that should have got the album, that should have got the Grammy for that."
Right.
So I will say there are those like G-Eazy and Macklemore who will openly and honestly say like, yo, that should not have been me. That should have been,
Right.
or even
Right.
a Kanye saying that Beyonce had the best album, which she actually did at the MTV,
Mm-hmm.
that year she did.
Facts is
Like,
facts, and that's what we're gonna stand on.
facts is facts. I'm sorry, like Beyonce
Right.
that year had the best album, and the MTV people gave it to Taylor Swift. Um, and later on, Taylor Swift ended up having to recognize, well, you know what? Yeah, Beyonce had a killer ass album.
And I think that also is something that kind of bothers me so much is that sometimes people don't even like see the benefits of what they sold into this business
Yeah,
until years later or until when people some freaking kid in college discovers such and such music and now we're back in the conversation of that person. So it's like I believe in giving people their fruits, flowers, love, praises, etc. right now.
yeah,
um, Rather than waiting for so long to say, you know what, Nina Simone really was a really good, talented singer. You know, it was like, why now that she's gone? You know, why now that she's not really here to, you know,
Yep.
experience that praise in person. So it's like
True.
when we are dealing with this culture and dealing with being black, because we're black in everything. We're black in our workspaces. We're black in this music industry. We're black in the entertainment. We're black everywhere. Like we can't erase this shit. So when we have our white counterparts come into those spaces, that can be a space that we can capitalize on. And he sound like me, and because he's white, it's a package deal for labels.
Well,
I'm a profit off it, you know.
true. Well, I guess keeping it in the LGBT community though, we kind of
Mm-hmm.
say the same thing about Todrick Hall. Now, mind you, Todrick Hall
All right.
raps, he sings, and he does drag.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, let's just be real, black people in the gay community, we freaking bash Todrick Hall so hard. We really do.
Right.
Because we say,
Right.
oh, he's whitewashed. He has all these white people around him. He has all these white boys.
Mm-hmm.
But Todrick Hall also, some of the things that people don't get to see with Todrick Hall is that he does. If you look at his dancer lineup, the majority of his male dancers are black.
Mm-hmm.
You know those.
Do you feel? Okay, I got a question to intersect.
Okay,
Do
go
you
ahead.
feel like let me be a little windy. No, but no. Do you feel like um first of all, Todrick Hall is very very talented. I've definitely seen his whole situation happen with the Target thing, and you know Beyonce shot him out and stuff like that. But do you feel like when we are in certain spaces and places that we do have I want to say I don't want I want to say, do you feel like we have a burden to carry or a mission to carry out when we do get up there and we are rubbing, you know, elbows with certain people that we looked up to? Like, do you feel like, yeah, like his dancers are black and things and stuff like that, but do you feel like he is someone that truly shows his blackness? You know, I'm trying to word the question the correct way. Do you feel like he's someone that only shows his blackness when it's beneficial, or do you feel like he is someone that stands in his blackness throughout everything?
Hmm. Okay, that's a good question. Um, with him, I've seen. So I've seen it where um, you look like, okay, let me just rewind. So when I look at his projects overall,
Mhm.
you look at Straight Out of Oz, Forbidden, and now you have House Party.
Mhm.
Um, so would I say those projects are black? Yes.
Mhm.
When I look at the videos, are they black? Yes, to a degree.
Mhm. Mhm.
Will I say he will go at now? Will I say that he will go as far as Beyonce, or with the blackness, with the doing a show where it's dedicated to HBCUs, making a movie called Black is King, and showing nothing but African and black excellence throughout the entire film. Will I say that he will go that far? Probably not.
Okay.
Only because it's not only because of the powers that be that stand behind him.
Mhm.
Yes, he has very powerful black people behind him, but he has
Mhm.
even more powerful white people behind him.
Mhm.
So basically, it's one of those, okay, with the very powerful white people, we'll let Todrick Hall go as, like, they have a little leash on him. Like, we'll let Todrick Hall go as far as this, but we're not going to, like, if he wanted to do a film like Black is King, he couldn't do it.
Right. And now that you say that, it definitely does put me in a different perspective because I'm gonna be honest. I appreciate his art.
Hmm?
I've listened to his music a few times and stuff like that. His music never, to me, it never really resonated. Like it never was. And I'm into musicals and opera and all those different things and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm a very diverse person when it comes to music. But it just never resonated to me. Like I don't feel like he was. I don't when I listen to his music, I don't feel like I'm being talked to in a sense. Like I don't know, it doesn't connect. But you, on the other hand, you probably have things that connect with you and stuff like that, or certain songs that you kind of like, you indulge in and stuff like that. So when I do see him kind of stating certain things or doing certain things that's going against, black figures or whatever the situation is, you obviously, when people get up there and stuff like that, they do get in a place and space that they kind of forget. So it's like we have times where people can have the privilege to say, you know what, I'm not going to indulge in that, or I'm not going to co-sign that, or I'm not going to stick up for someone that we know who that always want this, but why me, narrative. Um, when it's going against other black individuals, like sometimes some shit you just need to sit out, and I think that's where the Beehive and all those other fan bases that be tagging his ass got frustrated at with him, and
Yeah.
that's I guess that's their experiences. Like I mean, I personally don't attack him or anything and stuff like that, but I've seen things that played out with him that I felt like you could have really like handled it a little bit more better.
Right.
And, because we can't forget this. No matter where we go, we can't forget this because you can have all this, but this is like your reference card. So people still will treat you secondary. People still will treat you like, okay, you're Sandra Hall, but so it's like
Well,
that's what we deal with in this industry. Racism upon racism every damn day.
well, and I think to a degree, and we've seen this with many powerful black celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they get into a position where they forget what it is like to be black, because they get to a certain level
Let's talk
where
about
they're
it.
like, what I'm saying, where they're like, I don't experience racism. I don't know why, I don't know why we're protesting so hard. And it's like, well, if you don't know, have you been sleeping under a rock? They haven't.
Right,
They haven't been sleeping under a rock, but they've been living under one, and they've
right.
created this little bubble where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
now that I got millions upon millions of dollars, my life is roses and cranberries and unicorns, and and so they forget what it's like to actually be black, and that's why I
That's gonna be
appreciate.
mean.
Well, that's why I appreciate Jay-Z and Beyonce. That's why I
Right.
appreciate. And I know a lot of people hate on Beyonce. A lot of people are like, I hate her. Whatever. One thing I will always love Beyonce for
She
is
does her job though. Right.
she does her job, and she puts the black community in the
On.
white people's faces,
Mm-hmm.
and they hate it so much. But the funny part is they can't stop watching.
And also to piggyback off of that, when I was watching, because I only got Disney Plus for her. Let's start there.
Really?
I love Disney. Disney was always a part of my damn childhood. I will always love my shows on Disney and my movies. But I only signed up for Disney Plus because of Queen Bee. Let's just be real.
Okay.
And I think when I actually looked at the subliminal message
Mm-hmm.
that she was projecting to us, that video of Whitney Houston, and I forgot the other lady that was on the stage, but she won that war that night,
Mm-hmm.
and they was doing that. The
Oh yeah.
damn, yeah, but what's her name? I can't think of her name right now.
I
But
don't
they basically was
remember.
looking at each other like, bitch, go ahead. I felt that moment. I
Right.
said, because I was wondering, I said, why is she putting Black is King? Why is she putting a project on Disney Plus, knowing that she may not be able to be as um open as she would like, because that is a subjective audience.
Right.
You know, they are their brand is catering to children. You know, in a sense. You know, like far as besides the movies and things like that that they own now.
Well, well, I mean, she tied it. So Black is King, though, she tied it back to the Lion King, the Gift album. Which,
Right. No, I know that. Yeah.
you know,
So that's how I say I was having an intentional thought of it. So when I seen the platform and I watched the movie, first of all, fucking phenomenal. Made me feel like I need to get some chinchillas and shit and walk around and walk around, you know, listening to Move Forever. It the subliminal message came out to me where I'm like, I know why you did this shit, B. I know exactly why. She said, not only am I going to bring this shit to white America, but I'm going to project this shit in front of white America. So you get the essential message that Black is king, Black is rich, Black is fucking, we matter. You know, no matter where you go, we matter. And we're going to drill this shit in y'all head that we are here, we matter, and we ain't going nowhere. And that's what I felt. That's what I internalized from that moment. Because I kept thinking, I was like, why is she putting on Disney Plus? Why is she putting on, like, it's not wrong with Disney Plus or Disney in general, but I was just wondering why. Even though I knew she did do the Lion King and stuff like that, but you know, her projects and her videos and things and stuff like that sometimes might be too much, too sexualized for children or whatever the situation is, because she is someone that that embodies her body, you know, so, and I would too, man, about that, you know. So it's like I didn't get it at first, but then I got it, and I was like,
right?
"Damn, Beyonce!
I mean, I'm
So
like,
you want to feel this blackness?"
exactly. She killed it. I mean, I even felt a sense of pride and a sense of like you know, like even I had like a moment where I looked at myself and I was like, you know, you can do this shit. Like, be you. Like,
Right.
be you in your fullness, not just, you know what I'm saying, like, not just the gay thing, but be freaking Black. Like, you know, like,
Right. And
be
I think that's important that we know those things. Like, we know that being in our fullness, just like piggyback to what's going on with you or what has transpired with you with what people saying you're not Black enough, are the festivals saying you're not kid friendly enough and stuff like that. It's like I want to be in spaces that I'm just enough. Let me come here, let me rap my fucking raps, let me sing my little songs, let me do what I gotta do. Let me project my narrative, because I never came in this game saying I'm here for kids or
thank
I want to appeal to children. No, I came here for the grown folks.
that that
Okay.
but that's the thing, is like my merchandise, yes, I do have a kids section
Come
because,
on now.
you know, I'm like, okay, we got a few things for the kids, but
Right.
when you watch my show or when you come to my show, I don't expect to see your kids in the audience,
Right.
you know, because this is not again, this is for the grown folks. And I think that we need to, first of all, I think what needs to happen is that we need to, first of all, accept it in the LGBT community. And then two, like, we need to stop censoring each other. Like, what the F? You know?
Yeah, I think censorship is definitely like this big. I feel like it's so limiting sometimes to our existence, because we as Black people by default are fucking censored.
Yeah.
You know, our hair, the way we talk, the way we dress, and stuff like that. But other cultures can take our shit and use it, and that's fabulous. You work in a bitch. Look at you. You are pop culture. You know, like, it's like, why, when it comes from us organically, it's not enough.
Nope.
But then y'all take our hairstyles
Thank
And
you.
now y'all, oh, now you're fucking pivotal. Now you are a viral moment and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what America has always shown us as black individuals, that we gonna take your shit, we gonna remix it,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna give it back to you like it's new.
And that's basically what they did. I mean,
Hmm.
if we were to name names, Tommy Hilfiger,
Right,
Fubu,
right,
like
right.
we got a list. Like, come on.
Right, we got a whole list to hit, and I think also what I like about this generation as well, like us and stuff like that, is that we're not afraid anymore to like name people. Like at one point, we were so scared to name or like or even hint at platforms that have done disservices to us, and it's like
Yep.
to me that's a form of racism. To silence me as a black individual because of something, because of me not checking off your damn checklist, and stuff like that, or whatever the situation is. To me, that's a form of racism. Silence is a racism to me. Because for years and upon years, we've always been in a space where they want to silence black people. Why y'all want rights? Why y'all want to feel equal? Why do y'all want the same privileges as us? Why don't we? Why shouldn't we? Why don't we want to be treated like humans? Why don't we want to be able to be stopped at a red light and not fear that this is the last damn time I'm going to see my, whatever the situation is. So it's like, why, why shouldn't we want equal? You know.
Yeah.
So it's like it kind of bothers me. It's like it's a big frustration because people see it, and shout outs to the allies that do see the
Right.
bullshit for what it is. But I also feel like nowadays, every store, every outlet, you go to their page, and here's a link to the Black Lives Matter thing. I'm like, we've been martyred.
Yeah. Like,
Why now y'all trying to go hard with this shit? Because now y'all profiting off of us.
well, exactly. Like I looked at Hulu and Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and after the George Floyd thing, they created a whole section of
Mm-hmm.
BLM. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I would have just watched the shit organically.
As we've
Because,
been doing.
yeah, as I've been
Right.
doing.
Right.
But now you're gonna create a whole section, which I'm like, and even well, and the thing is, what I appreciated though was that Disney Plus, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, and a few other networks actually, after the George Floyd thing, instead of pushing and creating all whole collectors series thing, they
Mm-hmm.
just went dark for 10 minutes.
Mm.
Like,
And I remember seeing it. I remember some people response to it was like, and other people responses were like, "Oh my God, what is this? What is the children?"
where's
Girl,
where's Dr. McStuffins?
right? I'm like, girl, when y'all killed that damn kid, when y'all be killing these children, are y'all worried about censorship and shit? Then, are you worried about your shows then? Like when y'all going in these stores and you killing kids over senseless crimes, you mistaking a toy gun for a real gun, like bullshit. It's like it's bullshit upon bullshit. So it's like y'all love to pick and choose when y'all want to be vocal
Right.
about like, damn, we just had to stop y'all damn show. So now y'all mad as hell for Black Lives Matter. Really, really, like.
And truthfully, like, okay, I believe that all lives matter,
Mm-hmm.
but the
Of
reason why
course.
I won't vocalize it, like
Mm-hmm.
in the same way as Black Lives Matter, is because of the simple fact that I am black in this fucking country, and the same shit that what I'm saying. Like, there's certain things that my white friends don't experience that I do. Like,
Right.
there have been times where I've like literally walked into like PacSun or Rue 21 and
Mm-hmm.
been, or Forever 21, and I'm the first motherfucker. Like, when I tell you I walk in the store, them bitches is all up in my ass crack. Like,
Right.
can I help you? Can I help you? Can I
I'm
help
like,
you?
yeah, bitch, could I breathe? Like,
Like,
and
I
I
just
hate
walk
that.
in.
And I hate that. And I think that's the problem. It's like I don't get to breathe the way that you get to breathe. I
No.
don't get to feel comfortable the way that you get to feel comfortable. Yes, we all matter. But right about now, I'm gonna put emphasis on my motherfucking existence. Black Lives Matter. You know, Black
queer lives matter. Black trans lives
Lives matter.
matter. You know,
Yeah.
because obviously we're not,
No.
you know, to y'all.
True.
Because it's constant shit happening over and over again, you know, to our existence. So it's like at one point we gotta put the focal point. If we don't shine a light on ourselves, who else is?
Nobody. Nobody.
If I
No.
don't pay my damn UI bill and I come home, who is it gonna fall on?
True.
You know, so it's like at the end of the day, we're taking accountability and saying, you know what? I don't think we did it as I don't feel like we drilled that shit in as much as we could have, and that's why I salute Beyonce and many people like like her that are using their platforms and really drilling that shit in.
Yep.
You gonna see this black body every fucking where you look.
But, exactly. And but the thing is, we have to keep doing that. And,
Right.
And I will say it's sad because I would love for us to get to the point where black is king is not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would love for us to get to the point where the Huey P. Newton documentary film, where he was explaining his time with the Black Panthers, I want to get to a point where that isn't needed.
Mm-hmm.
But until then,
it's all needed.
It's all needed. I'm gonna continue to watch it. I'm gonna continue because every time I watch it, I get something new. Every time I watch it, I hear a little bit of information that I was like, oh, I didn't catch that. You know. And with Black is King, I mean, I'm gonna continue to watch. I'm gonna continue to share it with people because it's like every time I watch it, not only is the music fly, but just the imagery. Like it was crazy. Like all the outfits.
It was
were popping.
fucking stunning. Right. It was everything that it was exactly the lens of life that we should always see ourselves in.
And that's the thing. She gave us a picture. She wasn't trying to give the accurate picture of Africa. What she was trying to do, in my opinion, was that she was just trying to show like, yo, this could be us.
Mm-hmm. My question to her is, when we packing our bags, Beyonce, get the fuck out of here.
Who opening up Wakanda? Damn it.
Okay, because we need to know. Because listen, once we go, all this shit crumbles.
Well, and that's the fucking problem. Like that's something that they don't fucking realize is that without I'm just gonna say not just black people, but without blacks, Mexicans, Asians, you would not have half the shit that we have in this country.
Let's talk about it.
You wouldn't.
No, that's true. That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? You even look at the Chinese Americans and how Chinese people, I'm sorry, the ones that immigrated over here and how they were treated. They willingly came to this country and were treated like freaking dogs. They were treated just like us.
Right. And it's sad because also it's sad because in that conversion of them converting to American life and stuff like that, they also, some of them were also painted this picture of us as well.
Yeah.
Because they treat us sometimes with the lowest amount of fucking respect.
Yeah.
How they talk to us and how they treat us and stuff like that. Because when they was on their way over here, it's all right, y'all, time to learn the fucking lessons. These people right here, now them,
they cool.
Yes, them,
no.
You know, and it's like and it's sad because we see it all the time. Like you'll have moments where you are dealing with other cultures and they treat you like royalty and they're like, "How are you? Can we seat you? You want anything else?" and stuff like that. You got other people like, "Hurry up and buy." What do you want?
I mean,
what?
What? I've experienced it even from like, you know,
I did too.
A few Chinese ladies at a few restaurants. Now, mind you, I love China. I'm very, you know, worldly when it comes to food. So
same here. Same here.
And quarantine didn't help one fucking bit with it. But
okay,
you know, but I've been to Chinese restaurants and been treated like shit because they have this notion based on what they were taught. You know, that I'm bad or that I don't have money, and then when I pull out my credit card, on the table and it goes through, then they change their fucking tone.
Talk about it.
Now
they're like, and do you want anything else?
Like, extra egg roll?
Yeah.
Extra salt? I'm like, you over here offering shit I didn't even ask for.
Right.
Yelling
at the kids in the background, come on, get your asses over here and go get this damn man his food.
Right. And I've experienced that with some. Now, you know what I'm saying? But now I have my specific places I go to.
Yeah, I do too.
But
I really think that's like I think that's a thing that we mentally, which is sad, because it's like, why can't we go anywhere and expect quality fucking customer service?
Right.
So now we got to pinpoint, like, girl, I'm over on this side of town. I can't go over here because I know last time she didn't give me the proper sauce. She was rude and she just threw my shit on the counter. Right. Now when I'm over here, she speaks to me, she smiles, she asks me what I want, and then she sends me along my way. So it's just like, why do we have to be so, again, limited? The word of the damn day is limited in our damn experiences. Whether it's getting a fucking egg roll or putting out a record or going to a festival or whatever the situation is, why are we so limited when it comes to black people? Like, why are we so limited? But everyone else can live freely, and I don't think people that's our fucking frustrations. And people also migrate on the fact that we're going through so many different things. Not only dealing with a pandemic, we're dealing with the fact that we're dying at alarming rates. We're going missing at alarming rates. Things, health benefits and stuff like that is not even being offered as it should be to people that are living in poverty and things and stuff like that. So people are dying from COVID rapidly than someone that has the best insurance and stuff like that. Or people that are dealing with pre-existing conditions and stuff like that. So it's like, at the end of the day, we are frustrated because ever since we fucking stepped foot on this damn land, that was not y'all's, but land that was not y'all's, we have always had to project the fact that, damn, I matter. Damn, you gonna kill me? Damn, you gonna just like be racist to me for no apparent reason? Yeah. Like, why can't we just coexist and do what we need to do here, just like they're doing what China need to do? And I don't want to make things a race thing, but it is a race thing. It is what it is.
It's part of it, and also I think sometimes it could be very sexist. You look at Joe Biden's pick, Kamala, whatever, Harris. Mm-hmm. I saw, not gonna lie, I saw a lot of negative from Black people and a lot of positive from Black people, and so it's very mixed. And I'm just like, why do some of y'all hate her so much? And they're just like, well, look at her track record, towards people of color. Well, look at Donald Trump's track record. And yet y'all's fucker still elected him.
That fucking part right there. And not only did y'all elect him, you elected him, y'all also allow him, for the people that don't feel that don't feel enraged by the things he said. They feel like, oh, he's the president, he can say what he wants. Oh, okay. Did Barack Obama get the same damn privilege?
No.
Could Barack Obama go on damn national TV and say such and such and such is that disease? Or is he going to say the proper motherfucking COVID-19? He's not going to say China. It's a China, disease. Yeah, but like, but it's like, what the fuck?
Well, and then the thing is, you'll never hear Barack Obama or even George W. Bush even Bill Clinton stand up on a podium and say, "Grab him by the pussy." You will never hear those men say that shit.
You stupid.
You wouldn't even hear Jimmy Carter say that shit, like,
right?
Because when that shit came out, even Jimmy Carter was like, "What the fuck did he just say?"
Right.
And even
it's privilege, and at the end of the day, that's white privilege, and we're gonna call a spade a fucking spade. Yep. It's white privilege. It's also male privilege as well, because hypothetically, if we had a woman that as president and stuff like that, everything she do, I feel like will be so dissected on. You
Yeah.
know, is she thinking with her logic or is she thinking with her emotions? Because women are emotional creatures. It's like, girl, shut the fuck up.
Is she on her period this week? What the fuck?
Right? Is she
You know,
PMS? You know?
literally. Well,
Right.
but I think that's what we're entering with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You know, and
Right.
like I personally chose to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris not because she's black or whatever, not because she's a person of color or whatever, but I chose to not vote for Donald Trump because of the things that I have seen, the things
Right.
I've read on his
I was
own
gonna get my vote
Twitter
any
page.
way.
Well, we've heard him say all sorts of racist shit. We've heard him say all, like, one day, what was it? For Cinco de Mayo, he went last year, not this year, last year, he went to Chipotle and was like, hola, ¿cómo estás? And it was only white people working at the time he went. I'm like, I never go into a Mexican restaurant, hola, I don't do that shit.
Right.
Like, and now if they say it to me, I'm gonna respond, of course.
Because I get my little bilingual on, but I'm not gonna be
Right.
doing shit to the point where it's like, girl, what are you doing? I just feel like with Donald Trump, one thing I can say is that he showed us exactly what America is. He showed us exactly what the fuck is going on. He shows how we were not prepared for no fucking pandemic. Even though Obama said years ago we should have funding and things, etc., for profitable fucking pandemic in the near future. He said it.
Yeah,
No one listened.
Well, they even developed a plan, left the plan in the White House, and Donald Trump talking about it's Obama's fault that people are dying because
Why you sound like him?
he left, but that's for real. It's like,
Because that's him.
That's him. But it's like, yo, Barack, they left you a plan, bro. They left you a whole freaking plan as to.
I know Barack Obama felt disgusting when he had to shake that damn orange hand.
Oh, I wouldn't have shook his hand. I would have been like, psych.
Right. Like, I'm really passing the torch to you?
Like,
out of all fucking people?
I mean, now I understand why people didn't want Hillary Clinton. I understand it. But again,
I would have took Hillary fucking faster than the bullet.
I would have took Hillary over that.
I voted for fucking Hillary motherfucking Clinton.
I voted for Hillary.
Yes.
But at this point, at first I was like, okay, I'm just going to put Jesus on the ballot at this point. But I'm like, you know what?
At this point, that's how I feel about this current election. It's like, I'm going to go ahead and do my due diligence and stuff like that. But it's just like,
I mean, I
don't trust none of y'all, be honest.
True, but at this point, I'm siding with Biden. I'm siding.
Listen, I'm about to ride it out, honey.
I mean,
with him and Kamala, whatever her damn name is. Hey, sis, do what you gotta do.
I mean, well, and when it comes to her, people keep trying to bring up her past. I said, and one of the comments that I said on someone else's thing was, I said, I find it funny when it's a person of color, we have to
y'all want to bring up that motherfucker past.
Yep.
Right.
But when it's these white politicians, we don't want to explain shit. We don't want to hear shit. We don't want, you know what I'm saying? We don't give a fuck that he just sucked a dude off in the bathroom. I forgot who that politician was. I forgot their name. But we forgot the fact that this dude was sucking dick at a truck stop bathroom and then came on stage with that same stank dick breath, trying to run for office and shit. Like, we forgot. You know what I'm saying? We forgot about all that shit because he was white. But when it came to like Ben Carson, Herman Cain, and now Kamala Harris and many others, why are you trying to bring up their old shit? Stop it.
I feel so just conflicted because she did this and she did that. And I'm like, well, none of the fucking politicians have clean hands.
None. Zero.
They've all done something. And I hate to be in a space that we gotta be picky fucking choosy. Okay, rapist or killer, rapist, whatever. Like, I hate to be in that space that we gotta pick which one is least, impactful to us. But it's like, it's not. And politicians have always been, to me, they've always been a game.
it is a game, but
You know,
now I feel like though at some point we as millennials have to stand up and be like, we tired of bullshit. You are either going to be for us or against us.
against us.
Exactly. And and even who is it, Dr. Umar Johnson, he said in an interview, he said, that we should give these politicians a list as a
Mm-hmm.
Black community. This was just what he said, as a Black
Mm-hmm.
community, of these are the things that we would like to see happen, and these are the things that we would like for you to gain your support on.
Right.
If you do not want to support us in these things, you do not get our vote.
Right.
That was his.
I mean, even though I don't agree with a lot of things Dr. Umar says, certain things he do say is very much,
Yeah.
something that can be utilized, resources that can be utilized. Like some of his thoughts and perspectives when it comes to the LGBTQ community, I kind of be like, bitch, shut your ass up. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well,
But
I mean, I will say though, when it comes to him and the LGBT community, the way, now mind you, the way that he described gay
I think he
marriage,
always references everything with sexual abuse.
well, that part I thought was fucked up. But
Yeah.
he was saying there was I don't know, did you watch the video on YouTube where where a Black lesbian, well, a lesbian who's Black, sorry, confronted Dr. Umar Johnson in a room full of people, and it's on YouTube, and she was basically going in on him about gay marriage, and she wanted to hear his viewpoint as to why he doesn't want to support it, why he doesn't want to support Black LGBT people, but she started to kind of, in a way, put words in his mouth, because he's never said that he hates the LGBT community.
I just got ignorant standpoints.
Yeah, but he does have very ignorant standpoints. One being is that the Black struggle, and I kind of, to a degree, I kind of agree with this, that the Black struggle and the gay struggle are two separate struggles. We cannot equate them. Basically, what he said was that being Black, we're struggling to be considered as human beings. He said on the gay side, you are basically fighting to practice a certain behavior and a certain sexuality. And I said, okay.
I can get the two. I mean, I could get the two, but I get the two, and I also can see where they connect at as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like the focal point with both of them is being us wanting to be projected and viewed as fucking human, But overall, I do see where, and that's with anything, different genres. There's different fights for different things. They do all have probably common interests or common connections. So so I can agree with that. Some things I did hear, I was kind of like, girl, let me turn this bullshit off. But other things I've heard, I'm indulged because I'm someone that I'm an intellect myself. So I like listening to other intellectuals. I love listening to people that know what the fuck they're talking about. I love to listen to people that, even when their opinion is not the popular opinion, they stand in it. That's something about that makes me excited to continue to listen or support that individual, because for so many years we've always had what we felt, but because this company says, well, we're not going to buy you or we're not going to support you unless you feel this way. Now people coming out, well, all lives still matter, So it's like, I'm just like, girl, stand in your shit, stand in it, and focus on the fight. Black lives matter. Trans, gay, etc. We matter.
We matter. Yeah, exactly.
Hashtag.
But oh my goodness, well, I think that's actually a good place to leave it at. I think.
Right.
Like,
we
can continue, but it's like, no, I think that's a good spot. Like, just to say,
right.
Again, our lives matter. We matter, and
right.
no matter how people think of it, no matter how people view it, our lives matter just as much as theirs.
Right.
Ultimately, and so But no, I think that's a good spot to end it. We could always do a part 2 later.
I think too. I mean, I think this could be broken up to a few parts.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes, but I mean, I can't wait to catch the playback on this. I feel like we touched on a lot of dope, uh, you know, perspectives, narratives, etc. And it's gonna touch somebody. Reach out and touch somebody. it's gonna touch somebody's soul.
So,
And
do we really want to touch somebody during COVID? No.
right. virtually.
Virtual. Oh my goodness. Well, again, Sev7en Taylor, like, what can I say? This was fun. Like, we definitely gotta do like a part 2. This is fun.
Oh yes, I think it'll be even better with drinks.
Hey, I'm with it. I got my kitchen full of vodka, and I'm about to go get some tequila. Restock.
Oh, come on. Well, maybe I need to come visit at this point. Listen, I'm down for it, definitely. But I thank you, Dave. I definitely thank you. I can't talk tonight for extending this invite. I feel like this was very dope, and we get to know each other. We got to know each other a little bit more, than rather than our normal communication we've been doing and stuff like that. And we got to do this again.
We do.
Call me up anytime. I'm always down for it.
Yay! All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, again, Sev7en Taylor. So let the people know how they can find you, follow you, buy, stream, yeah.
So, you can find me on all social media platforms at Sev7en Taylor. Instagram, Sev7en Taylor, SEV, the number 7, ENTALR. And that's the same thing on Twitter. Same thing on Apple Music and all other music streaming services.
Yay.
And how can we find you?
Well, I'm also on all social media. I'm even on Snapchat.
Come on now.
But you don't have to hit me up on. I was playing. You don't have to hit me up on Snapchat. But my main is look me up on Instagram at DMINQ Love Life Art. Facebook at DMINQ Official. And it'll just populate. And you can also find me on YouTube, DMINQ Official. I got new videos and a whole bunch of other things planned. We're actually getting ready to buy some cameras. Yeah, we're investing.
Come on
now. But yeah, so just look me up even on all music platforms, DMINQ. You'll find me pretty easy. I'm the only one with that right now.
Come on, I like it.
I like it. But yeah, definitely stream our music. Hopefully in the future we will have some songs together. And
I feel like we will.
I feel like we will. And hopefully sometime we can actually get together to actually
linked up.
Right. We gotta do something.
Oh, definitely perform. I'm down for it. Like, listen, even I'm thinking about just even probably partner with someone so we can have our own fest and get the people that want to be censored. Come on over here and live your truth.
I think it'll be cool for us to do like a Zoom music fest type deal. And we just invite like all our friends or whatever. And just like, hey, everyone gets 20, 30-minute sets. Do you watch?
Right.
I think that'd be fun. But we could plan that a little later. If y'all have any ideas, comment below.
Right. Very much.
But no, this was super fun. It was so awesome to finally meet you, even though it is
same, likewise.
Through the Zoom video thing, But
right, everything virtual nowadays. Like this is our new way of communication.
This
is legit. Is legit. This. But no, like I said, it was definitely dope to share the space with you. Thank you so much for not only just streaming our project, but just showing love and extending this invite to me because this is something that I feel like we need to do as Black queer individuals is extend that invite to each other. Show love, send warm feedback, whatever the situation is, create that dialogue so we can actually keep this currency going rather than, only amplifying particular people that look a particular way.
And we're gonna leave it on that.
Yes. Well, again, Sev7en Taylor, thank you so much for accepting my invite. This
Thank
was
you for having me.
so much fun. And ladies and gentlemen, again, you can find Sev7en Taylor and myself on all social media platforms and music platforms as well. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see y'all later. Deuces.
Bye.